Wow, that was very beautiful, but this has not been an easy evening, all these awards. Do I have a say in those awards, all those awards? But it's great to be back at a place that I know very well because I built it. And I'm very proud of it because I built it for $2.9 billion less than the Federal Reserve building, which is a lot smaller, by the way. Figure that one out. But I am delighted to be here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Amazing people, a lot of people that I like. Some I don't like at all. But I respect most of them, I must say that. You do a great job, amazing job, and it's an honor. As I said 3 months ago, the show must go on. We were backstage, and we both wanted to just have it go on, whether it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, it didn't matter. But in the end, it made more sense to do it the way we're doing it. And we had a great news conference at the White House, in a very important room. And you did very well. I think we all did very well. It was a hell of an evening, I can tell you that. Won't soon be forgotten. And I think a lot was learned from that evening. A tremendous amount was learned about security and about other things, the dangers of what we all do. But just like my presidency, the second time is always better. It's always better. And the third time will be better yet. I'm only kidding. From the earliest moments after the attack on our dinner last April, I knew we had to reschedule this event as soon as possible. We had to do it very quickly, and we met very quickly, and we figured something out. But the attempted mass murder at the Washington Hilton, that's what it could have been, was an assault on our democracy itself. Very serious situation. Many of you were there with me, and some showed extreme bravery, like Pete Hegseth, Steve Miller, Tom Holman. Really? They were standing on tables, and most of you were under the tables, okay? But they did. They showed. I saw every one of them that was standing up in those tables. I didn't know if they were brave, if they were smart, if they were stupid as hell. But they were on those tables in some cases, and there were a lot of different feelings going on in the room at that moment. But after hearing the gunshots, many people yelled, "Get down, get down," which caused Nicki Minaj to start twerking. Do you believe it? Get down. She's the only one that really understood what that meant. It's quite an evening. But tonight we come back together to answer that heinous attack with unwavering resolve. And every one of us here this evening to show that in America, we do not yield to political violence. We can't do that. Can't do it. So in this country, we believe in freedom of speech. We settle our differences not with bullets, but with open and vigorous debate. And no deranged loser with a gun will ever change that. We can't let that ever happen. There are a lot of very dangerous people out there. We can't let it happen. I want to begin by expressing our gratitude to the incredible men and women who put their lives on the line every day to protect my family and myself, all presidents, and lots of others. That's the United States Secret Service, so I appreciate it very much. And Sean and the whole group, amazing job. Amazing job. In recent months, they've repeatedly responded to threats with speed and professionalism and extraordinary courage, and there is no better example of that than Officer Victor Gonzalez, who we just met. It was amazing. What he did was amazing. When the would-be assassin charged the checkpoint at speed, he was fast. You know, when you looked at that, you had to look at it about 10 times before you really saw what was going on. He was quick. Nasty. The gun made him nasty, actually. But Officer Gonzalez engaged the attacker without hesitation and took a bullet to the chest after his ballistic vest, fortunately, was on, saved his life, and Victor did not even want to go to the hospital for a checkup. We insisted, really, we wanted him to do it. We insisted, but he didn't want to go. So to Officer Gonzalez, Secret Service, Metropolitan Police, law enforcement generally, and even all of the military surround us in the room tonight, we salute you and we thank you with all of our hearts. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Great job. These are great people. So this evening we're picking up right where we left off, so let's have a little bit of fun. You know, I said, what do we do here? Is this supposed to be fun? Am I supposed to be serious? Am I supposed to be a comedian? So I guess you said maybe a little bit of everything. I know one thing, I could never have done the speech that I had ready just a short while. Oh, that was going to be a doozy. I was so psyched. I was going to rip people. And I don't know, just something changed. It's really for the better, but I just wouldn't want to do that. But we'll do a little ripping if you don't mind. But it is true. I said, how do we handle this? It's going to be a different kind of an evening, and it is. And in many ways, it's a more beautiful evening, actually. Everyone's looking really good tonight, and I know it was not easy finding shoes to go along with your bulletproof vest, which many people didn't want to wear because they'd rather die than look 20 pounds heavier. You know that, right? We have that a lot. They put one on me. I said, are you sure I'm not wearing this? No, you look exactly 20. They say, sir, it's about 21 pounds. They said, not good. But I want to thank the outgoing president of the White House Correspondents Dinner Association. Now, she won't admit it, and she should not admit it, but we sort of became friendly. You know, in times of stress, on occasion, you become friendly. I have a lot of respect for Ouija, and I tell you, we went through a little bit of a war together. It turned out pretty good. It turned out pretty good because of a lot of good people. They stopped the tragedy, so I want to thank you very much. Fantastic job. Ouija worked extremely hard to ensure this dinner was rescheduled, and we want to just thank her family. I just met her parents, her children, her husband. What a perfect family. So it's really great. Thank you very much, all, for putting up with this, right? But let me also thank the incoming president of the Correspondents Association, Jackie Heinrich. She can be very tough as a reporter, I will tell you. She can be nasty. She looks so beautiful, but she can be so nasty. How could that happen? But she just got married to a very successful congressman, a very good congressman. I'd like to have a couple of more votes from it. That's okay. On occasion, he shows a little independence. We don't like that. But now he's a very professional guy, and he loves our country. But that's a big thing. I just see what takes place. We're talking about what takes place to be in the position that you're leaving and that Jackie's coming into. And it's a lot of work, a lot of friendships, a lot of talent. And so, Jackie, congratulations. Great. And congratulations are also in order for our favorite White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, who just had her second child. You and your husband. She's great. She's done a fantastic job. We all love her. She's done a fantastic job. She's another one. She can be nasty. But sometimes she has no choice, right? But Caroline may have one of the hardest jobs in the White House. She has to deal with all of you all of the time. And you can be very difficult. You can be very, very difficult people. But I'm probably being a little bit oversensitive. Sometimes I really do think that some of you don't like me. In fact, I read a report, I get 93% negative publicity. 93. So how the hell did I win the election by so much? Think of it, I don't think that's true. I can't believe it's 93. In the 80s maybe, but not 93. But this place is really the largest group of Trump derangement syndrome people ever put together at one time, I suspect. But some of you are lucky that our last dinner was cut short because I had brought with me what would possibly have been, I'm telling you, I had something. I was going to go after you. I feel so badly doing this. It's going to be such a letdown. Oh, yay. But your lives were really in danger the last time for an opposite reason. But on the plus side, your careers were saved, and we really do. We have a complete and total. I love the words complete and total. They say, but it means almost the same thing. I said, it doesn't matter when you say it. It's called emphasis. It's called emphasis. But everyone is now really warming up. The new White House Military Center, drone port, highly protected ballroom. We have our ballroom. The windows are this thick. I said to the people, well, if a bullet hits, what happens? Nothing. Nothing. It bounces right off, sir. This is the greatest bulletproof glass. I said, AK-47. That's supposed to be a big one. I don't know so much about the guns. My sons know a lot. But I said, I know it's big. What would happen? They go up, meaning it can take more. I said, so if I'm making a speech and I hear that pinging sound at a window, what would I do? Sir, leave the room right away, but you're going to be safe. We're building something that's going to be amazing. And in light of what we went through, I think people understand it. It's going to be amazing. A phenomenal, one of the biggest drone ports anywhere in the world, right on the roof, right protecting the White House, not only the ballroom. And what's underneath, it's supposed to be a top military secret, what's underneath, but then you get sued as usual, and you have to reveal that you're building this unbelievable situation downstairs with room after room of very complex stuff. It was the military's dream to have it built. I wanted to have a ballroom because for 150 years they wanted it. And then the generals came to see me and they said, sir, you're building something. This gives us an opportunity to do something that will be so unbelievable, never happen again. Because there's very little built under the White House, very hard to build under a very fragile building like that. It's very fragile, it's old, and a little different construction standards, frankly. And this is an opportunity for us to build something very powerful. I said, let's keep it secret. They said, no, we're telling you, sir, let's keep it secret. And then we get sued and we revealed every room, We told the people that did the suing, they're not good people. We told them, we said, you're being very unpatriotic when you bring a suit like this, but it is what it is, but it's moving fast. We're ahead of schedule. We're right on budget. And it's going to be something like, I think, no country has. I just visited China. They have this magnificent room, the Great Room. They call it the Great Room. It's a great room, but what we have is going to blow. There won't be anything like it. It's going to be fantastic. And with all of the things that are going along with it for safety and security of future presidents. I'm only going to be using it for about 6 months, assuming we finish it right on time. I get to use it. Somebody said, he's building it for himself. I'm building it for the future. I'm not building. I use it. Now, had I not gone down 6 or 7 stories, then in that case, I would have been able to get a couple of years out of it. But that was far more complex, what we did downstairs, than what we do upstairs. So we're very proud of it, though. It's going to be amazing. And I think I was just telling the whole group sitting at the table, we were talking about it. I said, I think, it's White House Correspondents, so I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to use that. It's going to be very large and very beautiful and very safe, and that's what you need. So I was thrilled to see that after witnessing the attack, even Democrat Senator John Fetterman told his fellow Democrats to drop the Trump derangement syndrome and build the White House ballroom. But it's much more than that. It's something that you're going to use. I predict that you're going to end up using it, and a lot of people are going to end up using it. They're going to be as safe as you can possibly be. But despite everything that happened at the previous dinner and all of the dangers involved, I'm told that this is still the hottest ticket in town. This ticket to get in tonight because it's a smaller room. It's a beautiful room. It's a luxury room. See those beautiful chandeliers? I can tell you everything about them if you'd like to know. See that beautiful Capitol above? See the beautiful Capitol? See everything, the brass? Those chandeliers are great. I'm looking at them, saying, I wonder if I could, I sold this building. And they're doing a nice job, but they're nice people. But I'll tell you, I'm looking at them saying, I wonder if I could walk out with those chandeliers, because you can't buy them. They're very special. I won't tell you the fact. I won't mention that they're Czech crystal, because I'd like to say everything's made here, but they are Czech crystal. And they are beautiful. And the Waldorf people are doing a really nice job. We're proud of them, actually, because, when I left town, I was a little angry. I was a little bit angry. I was offered a nice price. I said, I'm getting out of that place. And then I said, let's make a comeback. And but I was very proud of this building. This building was hot. Remember the lobby floor? 82,000 feet. For those in the real estate business, 82,000 feet. That's a major floor. That thing was packed every single night. It was packed, mostly Republicans, I would say, but it was packed every single night. It almost brings back memories. But I left town, and I have just had nothing but good experience. And this might be the best experience of all, having all of these incredible people in this room. It's a great feeling, frankly. It's a great feeling. But tonight's event, thank you. But tonight's event is even crazier than the last time. In fact, it's so successful that I've been informed by CBS News' David Ellison, who's going to do a fantastic job. He's the owner. He bought it, spent a lot of money, and he's going to make, I think, fantastic changes and keep some of the great stuff going. But that next year they're going to call it the Trump White House Correspondents Center. He told me that, and I like that very much. We're going to change the name of it, okay? Oh, it's going to be so hot, just like our country is hot. We are hot, by the way. But to be honest, it's just about the only way that they're going to ever get me back here. You're going to have to change the name of the dinner. But how's that one going? Not too good. I hope that everyone finally got to enjoy their entire, very delicious beef tenderloins, very special beef. And I want you all to know that Bobby Kennedy, who's right here, personally ran over the cow in his car. And he cut it up and he brought it here for you to eat tonight. So it's very fresh. And Bobby also suggested an appetizer featuring his favorite cut of male raccoon roadkill. But we drew the line at that, Cheryl. We said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. We love Bobby. I'll tell you, it is a piece of work. You think it is fun, but he is a very different kind of a person, I will tell you. But he has what it takes, and he's smart, and he loves the country, and he wants people to be made to feel good. You agree with that, Bobby? He wants people to feel good. And he's doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. We can joke all we want, but thank you. A lot's happened since the last time we were all together. Last month, we hosted one of the most incredible sporting events in world history at the White House, the UFC Freedom 250 fight, the UFC fight. When I announced that we're going to build a boxing ring right outside of the front door of the White House, that took a lot of heat. But it turned out that was, they say, about the most viewed fight in history. It was beautiful. So many things happened. It was supposed to rain. We were going to do it the week before, and the weather was beautiful. And the weather came, and it went, and now we came up to Wednesdays. They said, sir, this was on a Sunday night, replacing 60 Minutes, which is nice and unusual, because usually it's Saturday night. And they said, sir, this was from Wednesday on. Tell me about weather, right? Sure, it's going to rain. I think you're going to have to. It's going to be one of the worst storms that we've seen in a long time. It's coming up the coast. It's going to hit you on Sunday night. It's going to be a disaster. I'm saying, can you believe? And you saw the ring we built, Dana White, the great Dana White, and everything. We had the best fighters in the world. Turned out we had the best fights that most people have ever seen, including me. It was just a miracle. But what happened is we're waiting for this rain to come all day long, and it's coming, and it's horrible. And it's 8 o'clock, and we say, I think it hasn't rained yet. I said, maybe we should postpone it an hour. Maybe we should make it the next day. We didn't know what to do. And finally, we just said, let's just have it. and it never rained. It was perfect. In fact, the week before, it was 92 degrees. It was nice, but this was like 72 degrees. And the rain was coming, and it came right over the White House, and it was like, thank you very much. It went like this. And other areas were drenched a few miles away. We didn't have a drop of rain. And it was absolutely one of the most incredible things anybody's ever seen. People said it's one of the most incredible nights of their lives. So just remember, before I came along, if you wanted to see someone lose consciousness on the South Lawn of the White House, all you had to do is ask Joe Biden a question. Remember that. Oh, you think I'm kidding. But the big fight was such an amazing success that tonight I'm pleased to announce that we're going to host an even bigger one right in front of the White House. Every Friday night, every Saturday night, we're going to have fights in front of the White House. But we do have something coming and I'm only kidding. You know, the one thing about the press that I learned, don't be sarcastic. Because I'm a very sarcastic person, and I get sarcastic, and most people know that, but you have some bad people that will write it exactly like I say it. And I said I was only kidding. But we are going to have Indy 500. Roger Penske's coming in mid-August, and they're going to have it all throughout Washington, the greatest cars, the greatest drivers in the world. And that's going to be something. Already they have over 350,000 people signed up, going down Pennsylvania Avenue, around the Capitol. And Roger, who's incredible, he won the Indianapolis 500 20 times. Think of it. Germany, Japan, all these countries, they spend billions and billions of dollars trying to win the Indy 500. And Roger wins it. He literally won it 20 times. On the 18th time, I said, you know, that's amazing. I'm going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And I had him up. And then he won it 2 times after that. The guy's amazing. And he lost the last one by about 6 inches, if anybody watched it. So they're coming here, and it's going to be something really exciting. We have unbelievable events. It's an unbelievable country. And on July 4th, we were over at the mall, and it was raining. It was supposed to be really bad again. And we had 450,000 people show up, and that's a light number. And I was told, sir, we're going to have to cancel the event. This was not good. And it was drizzling a little bit, not raining very hard. And people are calling me, friends of mine were calling me. And I got a call from Brett Baer. Brett Baer said, it's not raining. I said, where are you? I'm standing at the mall, and I'm waiting to go in the White House. Then others called up. They said the same thing. And I said, you know, this is terrible. But there was lightning. Not big lightning, but you don't have to have big lightning. It takes just a little bit to do some big damage. So they said, everybody must leave. 450,000 people were forced to leave, and they left. And then I said to myself, let me call up and find out what the hell's going on. And I called up, and I spoke to a brilliant young man. He said, don't worry about it, sir. We can do it in a couple of weeks. I said, you can't do it in a couple of weeks. This is the 250th birthday. In 2 weeks, what are we going to do? Say, let's go? We're going to have a redo? No. I said, I'll speak if I have to speak at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I don't care. Call them all back. They're all gone. 450,000, and most of them were in cars or heading back to Texas, and it was sad. And we said the show must go on. Very much like here, we said the same term, right? The show, it's a great term. It's true in life. The show has to go on. The show must go on. And I said, the show must go on. I put it out on Truth. The show must go on. And we had probably, Peter, 150,000 people come back up higher. Maybe, thank you. Let's stand up, Peter. Tell them. More, right? It might have been more, but it was amazing. It was just an amazing crowd. And actually worked out better, a little like this. It worked out better than if we had done it at the normal 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock time. It was incredible. We started speaking at 11 o'clock in the evening, but tremendous numbers of people. Thousands and thousands came roaring back, and it was a great evening. And it was a celebration. And we didn't do it the following day, and we didn't do it 2 weeks later. We did it when we were supposed to do it. It was a fantastic celebration. But I can exclusively reveal to you this evening that for the heaviest of the heavyweights, we will have sloppy Chris Christie, one of the sloppiest human beings you'll ever meet, fighting, I would say, I could mention the governor of Chicago, but I'm going to mention instead Jerry Nadler. And they're fighting for a big piece of cheesecake, big fat piece of cheesecake. Who the hell wrote that line? But it is true. And then you have a Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC plus 3. That's her 3 friends, right? AOC plus 3, and I watched her give that answer when she was over in Europe. It was not a good answer. If I ever gave that answer, I would be out of politics. Remember, you cannot have a 19-second wait time to answer really a quite simple question. But we'll then have a rematch against an extreme, simple question on a foreign policy from Munich Security Conference. It was a big security conference, and this was our first time up in terms of that. And we had a sort of little preview, and then Anderson Cooper is going to fight Lawrence O'Donnell. I'm not a fan of Lawrence O'Donnell. I like Anderson, actually, because he's covered me well for many years. Then he went bad as soon as I went for politics. But for years, he loved interviewing. I did so many interviews with him, and he was great. But, you know, he's got a little different persuasion than me in many ways, actually. And Lawrence O'Donnell, never liked him, never thought he had any talent. But he's still making a living, so I can't knock it. But we had a contest for who had the lowest ratings and the lowest IQ on television. And that was actually Don Lemon, I think. You know, when I said that he's the dumbest man on television, I said, you know, when you say some things, you never make a comeback. It's not like, oh, gee, hey, Don, let's have dinner some night. But I know what I'm saying. And then you have Bette Midler and Jane Fonda actually held a concert to protest the first UFC fight. They didn't want to see the fight, and very few people want. They held an event, like 3 people showed up, and given the choice between seeing some of the really beat up faces of the UFC, almost everyone chose the people in the UFC. It was between the 2 of them or the UFC. And what about Bruce Springsteen? What the hell happened to that guy? He looks like hell. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not supposed to say. I'm sure he doesn't like the way I look, but I don't look so bad. But at a recent concert, Bruce, all he did was talk politics. He ought to run for office. That'd be interesting. But all he talked about, he made 4 political speeches in his 3-hour show. The tour has been renamed Bored in the USA. And his new song was so bad that Chris Christie, who's like a fan, you know, he goes out and tells everybody how he hates Chris Christie. Keep that guy out of my... And I see Chris Christie there again, high-fiving Bruce Springsteen in the aisle. And Bruce Springsteen saw him and didn't even lift his hand up. And I just wanted, because I used to be friendly with Chris. Chris, when somebody doesn't like you, write them off. Forget it. You got billions of people in the world. You don't have to make a jerk out of yourself. But usually a comedian hosts this dinner. And I think we sort of changed it. Tonight we're going to have somebody who I think is really spectacular. But I've watched comedians get up for the dinner, because I have been here actually quite a few times, people don't realize. And there's one time in particular when Barack Hussein Obama hosted it. Do you know who that is? And he hit me hard. But actually, he hit me with respect. I was sitting with Melania at a table, and you had Brooklyn Decker, supermodel, at a table right next to her. And I really always will like her. She's married to a great tennis player, Andy. And she was at the table, not at my table. And I have watched this clip thousands of times. They keep playing it because they think that was the evening I decided to run for president. It was not. In fact, I loved the evening. I looked at my wife. I said, can you believe it? All these people, that's all they're doing is talking about me. I love this dinner. It's true. And Obama was nice. You know, it's amazing how things work out. He actually showed a picture of the White House with a big Trump on top. Like I put a sign. And, you know, I'm sort of doing that when you think about it, right? I mean, he wasn't really wrong. But, no, he was respectful. He was good. But it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do. I just decided that I wanted to make America great again. This had nothing to do with that dinner. I've gotten so many... Yeah, I've gotten so many calls, and for years they've been saying, was that the moment you decided to run? Really, no. I left that night, And the press was there, a lot of the same people that I see. They said, did you have a good time? Unbelievable. And some thought I didn't have, but I did have. And I always remember, though, Brooklyn. She was so angry. She was much angrier than me. She was angry. She thought they were mocking me. And they really weren't. It was just one of those things. And I had a great time. But I left, and I sort of thought, I was there 3 or 4 times before that, but I sort of thought, wow, that dinner is really something special. And then I ran, I got elected. I thought the press treated me very, very unfairly. And I don't know, I think I made the right decision, because you hate to go where maybe you're not wanted, but they did want me. They wanted me for ratings, and they wanted me for other reasons, but not for love. And I said, you know, I'm not going to go. First time that ever happened, I think. Was that the first time? Just about. Presidents always came. And I didn't go for 4 years because I got treated terribly by the press. In my opinion, unfairly. I know unfairly because I know the facts, but I got treated unfairly. I didn't go. And this year I was called by your president and your chairman and all of the people, and they said, we'd like to do it. And I said, you know what, with time goes by, time passes, and you sort of look at life a little bit differently. I said, let's do it. And I didn't know it was going to turn out the way it did. It turned out to be the biggest event in the history of your day. That was by far the biggest, right? For all the wrong reasons. But as I said before, a lot was learned from that evening. So much having to do with so many different things, including security. But it's an honor to do it. This is my first. I mean, I've been to it numerous times, but as president, I haven't been here. And I'm glad. And they said, would you do it next year? I said, I will be back next year. Now, if you get really, really nasty, maybe not. I don't know. But we're going to be back next year. And Jackie will treat me very bad. But this year, the association decided not to have a comedian, so they considered using Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. These guys, they're terrible. They're terrible. Stephen Colbert. These are people without talent. They get a lot. They have talent. You know who has talent? Their agent, getting them the money they get. They have no talent. But they are not comedians. They're not funny people. They're angry people. They're sick people. But the association really put on a big show, and they have somebody very special. I look forward to seeing him. And so they thought about going with a professional clown for entertainment, but Adam Shifty Schiff was not available. You know, he's known, I called him, I hate some people. You know, I shouldn't say this. I'm not supposed to hate. I'm supposed to love everybody. But he's a terrible person. He's a liar. And I called him Watermelon Head because he has the largest head I've ever seen with the smallest neck, pencil neck. How does that big, fat, ugly head stand on a little pencil neck? And then I'm told that even Rosie O'Donnell reached out from Ireland. She really wanted to be here in order to honor me. She loves me very much, and she was desperate to come back to the United States and pay her respect to Donald J. Trump. But that didn't work out, unfortunately, because nobody wanted her to come back. But she's one of the greatest sufferers of Trump derangement syndrome. She's a sick young woman, sick older woman, I guess now I have to say. So instead, we're honored to have, for entertainment, the very talented mentalist, Oz Perlman. And everything to everybody, they said, are you going to stay? I said, yeah, I'll stay. I mean, I think I'll stay. What the hell else am I going to do? I've got Iran, I've got this, I've got that, which is all going extremely well. Don't believe the fake news. You know, it's the only thing we were talking before, I said, so we've hit Iran very hard. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. 250 jets, no longer. 159 boats. Good boats. In fact, I said, why the hell didn't we keep them? We could have used them. But 159, but all at the bottom of the sea. They have no radar. They have very few drones left, despite what you see. And every once in a while, they're going to set some things up, but they don't have much left. And by the way, they are talking to us right now. They'd love to make a deal. I don't think they're ready to. I don't think it's time yet, but I'm willing to listen. But they cannot have a nuclear weapon. We don't want to see Washington, D.C., or any of our cities, or Israel, or frankly, the Middle East, destroyed with a nuclear weapon, because I know the power of nuclear weapons. I see it. I get to see it. We're not going to let that happen. So this is all about, we will not let them have a nuclear weapon. And they would use it. They would use it if they had it. But Oz, I do have one question about what happened that time, because he was there. How the hell did you not see that coming? He sees everything. He sees everything. He's telling me about your grandmother and your this. Why the hell didn't you? We got to ask him that question when he gets up here. Why didn't he see that coming? But of course, this evening, it's really all about the fake news media and your handling of prizes, and writing and producing and performing made-up stories like the Academy Awards. You know, Academy Awards used to be the epitome of ratings. Outside of the Super Bowl, it got the second most ratings. Now it's down in the dumps. Nobody wants to watch it anymore because they took on Trump. They hit me all night long. They hit me. The winner is so-and-so. I want to talk about Donald Trump. I hate this man. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. Right, Peter? Nobody wants to hear it. You ever see the ratings? They used to have 48 million people. Now they have 2 people watching. But they'll learn their lesson. But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins on receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake. But I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you ever smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and I thought Caitlin had really made it big with a major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney. And Dylan Mulvaney cost Bud Light $35 billion in market cap. That was the worst commercial ever made, by the way, for those few people that want to hear that. Most people don't care, but I would. I wouldn't want to hire Dylan anytime soon. Think of it, they hired Dylan Mulvaney, and their market cap has gone down by $35 billion. Who wrote that commercial? And then you have writer Josh Dorsey. He also received, he's been killing me for years. No, he's been, and yet tonight he shakes my hand, he hugs me, everything nice. He kills me. Josh is amazing. He writes more stories than any human being. There's nobody that writes more than Josh. He'll write 4 stories about me a day, all different subjects. I mean, I had the other day 3 stories and one on the, he was upset about this. 1 was on page 7, 3 were on page 1. They were all written by Josh. But he's hit the big time, and he's a workhorse, and yet he's almost unhireable. You know, he's just one of these guys. Wall Street Journal's lucky to have him, but you really, it's unbelievable. He's almost unhireable. CNN is also here. And I'm very disappointed they didn't bring Fake Tapper, because he's had a rough couple of years, Fake has. You know, he calls me up every once in a while. If I pick it up, I pick up my phone. I used to go to this young lady. I'd say, any calls from the press? No, sir. I said, oh, now I'm the president of the United States, right? I'd say to Stephen Chung, is Stephen here someplace? Where's Stephen? He's one of the toughest human beings I've ever met. Don't ever wrestle Stephen. You'll be in big trouble. But I say, Stephen, let me ask you, did the press call? No, sir. You know, when I was a developer, I'd get a call every half an hour. For whatever reason, I always got disproportionate press. So I said, Stephen, nobody called? No, sir. 2 hours later, I say, hi, Steve, how are we doing? Everything good? Anybody call? No, sir, no press calls. I said, I'm president. Nope, they never call. So this went on for about a week. I'd say, Caroline, did the press call? No, sir, no calls. I said, nothing. That's over a week. I haven't received a call. So I said, you know what I'll do? I'm going to give the press my phone number. That was the stupidest thing I ever did. I'm getting a call every 3.7 minutes. Stephen, I don't know where the hell you've been, but the press calls, I'm getting calls, ring, ring. I was with somebody today. They said, I've never heard a phone ring as much as it's fresh. Now, I look at the thing and usually just delete, delete, delete. Every once in a while, it'll be one of the people in this room that I like, and I'll pick it up. Like this one right here calls me on occasion, right? she'll call me and she says, hello, sir. How are you? We want to talk about some horrible subject, like a horrible, depressing subject. I say, Jackie, I don't want to talk about it. Congratulations, however, on your new marriage. But I don't want to talk about it. But it's true. And people call me now. And so for weeks I go, no calls. And I learned then that both of them, they feel that I'm doing a great job and they feel I'm above it all. And that no person, hundreds of people call no person, is good enough to talk to Trump. And so we don't even bother telling you. That's not the way it works, Caroline. You have to let me know, because sometimes I do like to speak to the press, but now I have the best system I've ever had. It rings, and just so you understand, you're much better at putting your name, because if there's no name, I just can't do that. You know, I pick up every once in a while. Hello, I'm from Reno, Nevada. We're a startup paper. We're calling us the Reno Express. I said, do you believe I'm the president of the United States? Mr. President, could I have your views on Iran? And I just hang up. No, I get the craziest calls. I mean, some of them, my wife said, I can't believe you do this. This is a hell of a way to live. But sometimes they get calls from very important. Sometimes I can straighten out stories that are going to be fake, and I can make them from a fake story to a good story. I always find that when you don't speak to the press, you always get a bad story. When you do speak to the press, you have a shot at getting a good story. Oh, look. No, look, if I were a reporter, and let's say I'm a big reporter, I work for the failing New York Times, or I work for, well, I don't know, do they ever come to these dinners? Didn't they cancel out a long time ago? Big mistake. They should be here. But I get a call. I've always found that, you know, speaking to them, you just do better. You do better. When you can, when you have the time. You speak to the reporter. You treat the reporter with respect. Sometimes now there are reporters where it doesn't matter. You can be so nice to them, it doesn't matter. You get treated unfairly. But you have a lot of great reporters where when you speak to them, you can get your point across, and that's a good thing. But some people say that Jake Tapper is a great investigative reporter in D.C., and that's why after moderating our debate, it only took him 1 year to break the story that Joe Biden might possibly have suffered from cognitive decline. It took him 1 year. He wrote a book about how great he was mentally, not too good. And I don't like Biden because Biden was very unfair to a lot of people. But Jill Biden insists that Joe would have beaten me in 2024, even though he was way down. She said he was way behind in the polls because he was seriously ahead. She felt he was going to win because he was seriously ahead on deceased voters. He was leading in the deceased crowd, and there were a lot of them. You're finding out there's a lot of them. Look at the numbers that just came out yesterday. And it's traditional that at least one or two potential presidential hopefuls attend the Correspondents' dinner, but many of them seem to have really chickened out. I was disappointed that Gavin Newsom didn't show up. He didn't show up. He should be here. But I heard that he recently said that we will lose our country if we don't fight fire with fire. And to be fair, there's only one thing we know about Gavin, and that's that he definitely doesn't want to fight fire with water. He's got a lot of water and never uses it. What a disaster. That should have never happened. But Gavin Newsom recently did a career-threatening, one of the worst interviews I've ever seen, where he said that he can't read a speech. He's incapable of reading a speech. He's a low IQ person. He's smarter, however, than all of the people in the room. And then he gets sued for being a racist, okay, when he said that. But he basically said he has various mental incapacities. He has difficulty in various other ailments mentally. And I'm looking at it and saying, this is the worst interview. I'm watching this interview. I said, this is the worst interview I've ever seen given by a professional politician. I've been watching politicians for a long time, mostly on the previous side, because I haven't been doing this too long. How am I doing? Not bad for the number of minutes spent. Not bad. But with Gavin, so he said that all these things, and I said, anybody running against him, all they have to do is take that one interview and you can't lose. I actually put out a statement that Gavin Newsom has come out and said he will not be running for president because nobody can say what he said about himself and survive. Newsom was in big trouble when he openly admitted that Kamala was smarter than him. She said, Kamala, is smarter. If Kamala is smarter than someone, you don't want that person to be president of the United States of America. Between California's policies of enabling wildfires, paying drug addicts to be homeless, giving free sex changes to illegals, and telling rich people they're going to take away, all of your money is going to be taken away. People are fleeing, and they're fleeing in droves. We can't have that in this country. It's becoming such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. The video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring to World War II as World War XI. And they asked her about that. She thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised, because she's a low IQ person. And she's also a very dishonest person. And she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million. And then when the press got on her, she revised it slightly downward to less than 18,000. So she went from much more than 30 million to 18,000. And I know Democrats, and the word Democrat is something that's come into fashion. I changed the E with a U, and most people don't know that dumb has a B, so we don't have to worry about that. It's very quiet. I thought it was quite good, but I haven't gotten much credit for that. Fake news, good. Pocahontas, good. I won't say Lion Ted because he's on my side. I don't talk about past conquests, but we have a lot of them. I won't talk about. They got a whole table full of Republicans there. They're saying, no, don't mention my frickin' name, will you please? But we've had a lot of good names. But the Democrats are there to destroy wealth. And honestly, they've gone absolutely crazy. Gavin Newsom's not only a man who really wants to run for president, he's doing a bad job running a state. You can't have somebody like a J.B. Pritzker, who I understand is not president, sadly, but, some people say, never use the fat word. And I don't. I would never call anybody fat. I have my own problems, It's not like I'm perfect. Sir, in the back, don't call him a fat pig, okay? I'm sticking up for him. Don't call him you. You can't do that, sir. You can't call J.B. Pritzker a fat pig, please. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everyone's trying to figure out, who is that guy? Does he exist? But the nice part is when you do that, the press can't get you, because I'm defending a man who obviously has a problem. Actually, he's lost a lot of weight. I saw him recently. He lost quite a bit of weight. I don't know what the hell. He's got no chance, believe me. Anything he does, the family threw him out of the business. A number of other potential Democrat contenders sadly refused to show up tonight. We invited Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. She's referred to Pocahontas because, in fact, I had to apologize. People came up and they said, we want you to apologize to Elizabeth Warren for calling her Pocahontas. And I ended up apologizing to the real Pocahontas. But Elizabeth Warren was supposedly of Indian heritage. And then she took the test and she only had 1,024th Native American. And I said, you know what? I think I'm more of an Indian than she is. So this is what we have to deal with. But Senator Warren did not accept our invitation to debate. I wanted to debate her on various and sundry things, and she decided not to do it. And I decided to bury the hatchet. It doesn't matter. And well, I'm not going to say this next one. Do you want to hear this one? How bad? She wasn't high up on her totem pole. Who the hell wrote that? No, she's bad news. I wanted to make sure that Jack Smith, deranged Jack Smith, remember he went after me for about 2 years? How did he do? Not too good. I'm in the White House and he's not doing as well. I was going to say he's in a different kind of a house, but he's a deranged human being. He's a bad prosecutor. Prosecutors are very important. A great prosecutor, a fair prosecutor, but that's the great prosecutors, the ones that are fair. They're very important to a country, but this guy was a deranged lunatic. Saw his invitation tonight. He was invited because, but I put it in a private text to Chuck Grassley. And Chuck saw him and he did a certain thing. And then one man that we had who should be here, he turned Palestinian. This was a man who was 100% for Israel. 100%. Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck. Remember, he cried at the airport over illegal immigrants. They were the fakest tears. There were people throwing water in his face. But now he's a proud, very proud Palestinian. In fact, I'm going to send him a beautiful Palestinian outfit tomorrow so he can greet Bibi Netanyahu when he comes to town next week, along with the mayor, who I'm sure would love to meet Bibi. They're not treating Bibi too well, but Chuck wanted to join us tonight, but he didn't want to be violating many parts of the Palestinian rules, regulations, and certainly he didn't want to violate Sharia law, his new founding. And all joking aside, I do think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very important because I see what's happening. I see what's happening. The other day, a senator I knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? In other words, you can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was actually pretty good. That was actually the only thing I thought was good in this whole frickin' stupid speech that they wrote. That was the only good one, and that went down with not exactly great laughter. I think, in other words, you can't go up the stairs and make love, too, So we're looking for term limits. Does anybody understand this stuff? But I really do wonder whether the Democrats are trying to lose the midterms. In Maine, they nominated a guy with a Nazi tattoo. But don't worry, Democrats. Word is that Plattner's replacement, he throws bottles at women. This guy throws bottles. This guy's another lunatic, by the way. Although I think Plattner might have done surprisingly well because we're in the age of Trump. Call it what you want. People can do well today. Plattner, I don't know. But, people don't have the guts to stick it out, but it looked like he was guilty of a lot of stuff. He certainly didn't defend himself very well. In Texas, the Democrats are running a candidate named James Telefrico, who hates guns, hates oil, hates sex, hates women, and who said he is, quote, a Christian who hates Christianity. Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. And that means that he's not going to do very well against Ken Paxton, who hopefully in Texas is going to win. But Telefrico, he's Alfred. You know what he looks like to me? Alfred E. Newman. Do you remember Alfred E. Newman, Mad Magazine? I said, that guy is Alfred E. Newman. Can't imagine he'd win. Well, I have all of the press here in one place. I have to say that we're having an amazing load of accomplishments that the media never talks about. For example, under my administration, a once feared and powerful regime that relentlessly attacked America has finally been toppled. Their former leaders have been removed, and they're now being run by a gay dictator facing internal divisions. But I, for one, wish Barry Weiss all the best at CBS News. She's a wonderful woman. Most of the press lives here in Washington, D.C., and you should be thankful for me for what my administration and I have done to make our nation's capital, which was one of the most dangerous and unsafe cities anywhere in the world, one of the safest cities in the United States. Crime is down 88%, and our capital is shining again with 62 monuments, statues, water fountains looking more beautiful. The graffiti's all gone. The tents are all moved out of the parks. The fences are all done. Our capital looks like it's really in good shape. And people coming here, people in the White House, they work in the White House, they all say, young women, young guys walk up. They say, thank you, sir. 2 years ago, we lived in a dangerous city. We lived in a city where 150 people were killed a year. And now we have almost a crime-free city. Our National Guard has done an incredible job, and we've removed over 5,000 career criminals. We removed, there's one stat, I think it's a great stat. It's to me, it's fantastic. 2% of the people create 91% of the crime. That's something you can fix, and we fix it. We moved out over 5,000 career criminals out of Washington, D.C., and we have the greatest capital in the world. Again, it's beautiful, it's thriving, the restaurants are thriving. Now, you couldn't get into a restaurant because they didn't have, all the restaurants were closing. And if you even got in, you felt unsafe. People were getting into Ubers and they were being attacked when they were in an Uber. It's not happening anymore. We have tough, smart people, and they have done a fantastic job. Washington, D.C. is safe again. You can't get into a restaurant. The restaurants are opening up. They're opening up all over the city. They can't get, it's the exact opposite. They can't get space. But mostly I've given up on you and the media so that now I just gave up on you and I'm #1 on TikTok. Did you see that I'm #1, Stephen? Is that true? I'm #1 on TikTok. So how can they be so bad? 520, think of this, 425 billion views. Can you believe that, Peter? I mean, let's go, Peter. I gave up on you people. I gave up on traditional press. And it obviously worked because we did win in a landslide. I mean, somebody's got to be saying something good about me. But TikTok, good old TikTok, and I was able to get it sold to a group of very wealthy people, mostly Americans. I was told President Xi, who's a man that I get along with very well, he was a hard no for the sale of TikTok. They all said he's a hard no. I said, well, let's call it, put your group together. They put it together, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. I called up President Xi. I said, President, look, these are American people. They're wonderful people. In fact, one of them happens to own CBS, actually. I mentioned his name. I said, these are wonderful people, and it'll be a good thing. Does it mean anything, President? It's nothing. It's nothing. They love your country. We'd love to see you approve the deal. And he goes, all right. That was it. It was done. And we sold TikTok. And he's a friend of mine. And he's not contributing to problems like other people contribute to problems. So we get along. But we made the deal. But #1 on TikTok is Trump, and that's probably why we won. But for all of the trouble that you give me a lot of trouble, a lot of heartache. I hope all of you know that I believe in the free press more than anyone in this room does. Maybe not quite. But that's why I'm proud to be the most open and transparent president in history. They called me that. You know who calls me that? Caroline. That's about it so far. Would anybody else call me that? I think Peter would call me that. Am I the most transparent? Biden never used to answer your questions. He'd ask Biden 20 questions. He'd never get an answer. Who's the most transparent president, Peter?
Should I say that?
Who? I look at him. It's the first time he's tongue-tied. I cannot believe it. Oh, he's not going to be happy tomorrow. But you people have no idea how lucky you are. When I'm gone, you're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true. When I'm not around, you're going to be broke. There's not going to be anybody to report on. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else. The New York Times the other day had 5 stories about me. You know, before I got into politics, in my whole life, I had 7 front-page stories. This is years of success. I think 6 were good, 1 was bad. I had 5 stories, 7, 5 good. Yeah, I had a total of 7 stories on the front page of the New York Times. That's not bad. Now I average about 3 or 4 a day, all different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office, so I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press, and I want to save your ratings, I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a 4th term as President of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official, in fact, I think I have, I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the 2nd time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, it's interesting, when you come back and you do a good job like we did, you don't care about it so much, but we do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in seriously bad shape. But On a serious note, I want to say once again, I just want to thank you all. It's been an interesting evening. I didn't really know what to expect, and it's far worse than I actually thought, but if you want to know that. But I didn't know exactly what to expect, and I've made a lot of friends tonight. I've made a lot of good friends tonight, probably made some enemies also, but it's been an experience that is something that we've all shared together, because we're all in this room tonight because most of us went through a period of trauma from just a short while ago. And, you know, some people said they wanted to come, but they were afraid to come, and you people weren't afraid to come. There were a lot of people that said, Jackie, they don't really, you know, they didn't have the courage to come. And we don't want that to happen. And I'm sure it's not going to happen. We're going to do things. Again, I want to thank our law enforcement, keeps us safe. All law enforcement. We have the greatest people on earth. You know, we had 2 years ago, we had the worst record of recruitment in, as an example, the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, Space Force. I love Space Force. Look at all that shooting we're able to do from space. That was my baby. But all of the branches of, you couldn't get people to join. This was 2 years ago. And last week, you probably saw, some of you wrote the story, we have the single best recruiting of people into our armed forces than we have ever had in the history of our country. They are brimming over with great people. And that's a big statement. And that also goes for the police departments, where they were having a tremendous problem recruiting. You can't get into a police department now. If you're looking for a job, it's very tough. And that also includes our great fire departments, because people forget about them. They're unbelievable, the job they do. So I just want to thank you. Look, we're on the cusp of something big, and I call it, and this, I'm being very serious when I say this, that this is the golden age of America. We have $19.2 trillion being spent in our country. A record was China. I think it was 10 years ago, 3 trillion. Trillion is a lot. 4 years, they went less than 1 trillion under Biden. And we have 19.2 trillion. And this is a period of actually 13 months, not even current, because we're here a little bit longer than that. But that was as of reporting dates. $19.2 trillion is being spent. Factories are coming. Toyota just announced they're going to be building the biggest car plant in the world. They're leaving Mexico. They're coming here. Tariffs did that. Tariffs did that. And maybe November 5th did that too, the election. But our country is doing things that nobody's ever seen before. And it is true. We were, and you've heard me say this, we were a dead country 2 years ago. Other leaders would see me and they'd say it's a miracle. President Xi told me that a few weeks ago in China, and he's coming here on September, I think, 24th, coming in September, the end of September, going to be exciting. But he said the same thing. The King of Saudi Arabia said it. Everyone said almost the same words. We thought you were a dead country. We never thought you had a chance. You were never going to make it back. And in a period of 1 year, you made it the hottest country anywhere in the world. We all did that together. It's not me. We all did it together. And we do. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And we're going to keep it going. And I just want to say, it is the room. I have tremendous respect for the people in this room. Sometimes I don't feel you treat me fair. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I don't feel that. But sometimes you treat me very fairly. And I have a lot of respect for your profession. Your profession's amazing. And I just want to thank you for having me. And it's been fun. And I've met a lot of great people. And, you know, I used an expression, and I've used it right from the beginning. I did this for one reason, to make America great again. And that's what's happening right before your very eyes. We have made America great again. And it's going to get a lot greater. So thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, that was President Trump speaking for a little over an hour there at the White House Correspondents' dinner. Joining us now is former assistant to President Trump, Sonny Nelson. Sonny, we just heard the president speak at the rescheduled White House Correspondents' dinner after a shooting disrupted the event back in April. We were told that the president would deliver a, quote, unifying yet vicious speech tonight. Do you think he did that?
Well, like we said before the president spoke, that was going to be a tricky needle to thread. And I think he did about as good a job of that as you can do. Of course, he started off the speech with a lot of humor, but he also touched on the importance of continuing this historic event that happens in Washington, D.C., to really honor the First Amendment and to talk about how important the press corps is, because of course they are so truly important in making sure that the president's message and the president's actions get out to the American people unfiltered. So the president has, very high respect for the press, and he knows the value of the press. Of course, we saw at times fiery in all different directions, whether it be his own party, of course, taking jabs at Secretary Kennedy, which I thought was probably the funniest part, in my opinion. And then taking jabs at his political opponents. And that's, that's one of the beauties of our country. And that's what the beauty of the First Amendment is. We can take shots at each other on policy, on ideology, but where we draw the line is at political violence. And that is the point that I think he really drove home tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of political violence, Trump addressed, of course, the shooting, thanking security, saying that this show must go on. Our own Jonathan Karl said it was important for the president to attend. He looked President Trump right in the eyes when he said that. What's your take here?
Yeah, absolutely. And some great words from John Karl there. Look, the president has shown strength. He's shown strength in the face of really troubling circumstances. We heard some really great speeches tonight, whether it be from Ouija or from the president, making great comments about how we cannot let deranged individuals take control or take a narrative or scare the American people. We have to come together to show unity, to stand up and say, this is the United States of America. We will never allow political violence. It will never be an acceptable form of disagreement in our society. That's why we have the First Amendment, so that we can disagree on politics, we can disagree on policies, but we absolutely will never stand for political violence, and we will never let it control us. That's why the president was so adamant that he come out and speak tonight. And I think he did an excellent job in reminding the American people as to what we stand for and what we will never allow.
At least some elements of the White House Correspondents' Dinner are meant to be lighthearted. The president did crack a few jokes. Did he say anything that made you laugh?
Yes, his joke that he had with Bobby Kennedy, I think, was my favorite one. I myself am a Maha mom. I'm super into the Maha movement. So, there's a lot of jokes about Bobby Kennedy online with his health regimen, with the things that he eats. So his joke about Bobby running over the beef before they served it was pretty funny. They had some good stuff in there.
All right, Sonny Nelson, thank you. We're going to take you back now to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Oz the Mentalist, if anybody is familiar with Oz the Mentalist, he is performing right now. Let's dive right in.
Until next year, actually. I'm kidding. Folks, I have to give a shout out, honestly, 3 months ago, to the heroic bravery of the Secret Service and law enforcement who kept us all safe. Please, everybody. I felt truly blessed that day to go home and be able to kiss all my kids, and yet cursed that every single day since, everybody I meet, including now the President of the United States, goes, if you're such a good mentalist, why didn't you see that coming? Everyone in here, your words that you broadcast and speak influence minds all around the globe. So all of you, hold up your left hand and picture a globe in your left hand. Good, good. So that's going to be your other left hand. That guy is wasted right now. Secret Service, code yellow, cut him. No, I'm kidding. That was not. I just saved your life. Everyone, imagine at this moment, you spin that globe and you stop anywhere random. Bam, go for it. Follow me with the mic. Follow me with the mic. Let's go over to somebody. Let's go to this gentleman whose body language is saying so desperately, not me, not me. Everyone thinks it's fake. I watch this on TV. I think it's fake. Sir, have we ever, right over here, have we ever spoken a word in our life? Red bow tie, aggressive play.
No.
Okay. What is your name?
Steve.
Steve? Hold up. They love you, Steve. Steve, did you just spin a globe and go to a random place?
Yes.
Hear me out, folks. In a few months, Steve will forget the random place because there's no meaning. But no, listen to me. And then a year from now, you'll say, who was the guy we saw last year? I cannot have you forgetting me by next year. I'm going to be the show you talk about for years to come. So everyone, I don't want a random place. Everybody, give it another spin. Follow me. Everyone give it another spin. I want eyes to light up. I want butterflies in your stomach. Everybody stop on one spot, and I want to see a big smile. I want to see excitement in your eyes. That guy just winked at me. I don't know why. Follow me with the mic. Right over here, this gentleman with a perfect head of hair. They're going to hold the mic. They're going to help you out. Tell us your first name.
First name is David.
David, stand up, please. Give him a hand for helping me out. Give him a hand. David, I don't know the future. I'm not a psychic. I would have called that 3 months ago. I read people. Hold up your hand. Try not to react. South America, North America. Look down again. Number one place in the world you'd love to go. Look at it again. But this man dreams big, but you haven't been there. Look at that place one more time. Look at me. Yeah, that's the smile I wanted to see. Asia, Africa, Antarctica, too cold for you. Turn your back so I can't see you and you can't see me. Close your eyes for me, David. Close your eyes. David, was there any hesitation in your mind? Were you on the fence? Look, the shift in the posture, the weight on the right foot. Close your eyes. My boy just changed his mind. Come on, David. He just said in his head, he goes, if I'm not paying, I'm going big. There's a passport involved. David, keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. What was the place when I said spin it? Stop right there. Where did you want to go? Tell us.
Taj Mahal.
What? Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
That's why I said you shifted your balance. Have you been there before?
Never.
I'm so curious. Let me ask you a question. You never know how this works. Did you change your mind?
No.
Were you thinking initially of a place and you go, I've been there, so it's too obvious, and at the last moment you changed? What was the first place you thought of?
Big Sur, California, where I just visited.
And then, Taj Mahal was was the layup. There it is right there. What did you think of after that? I saw you chilling, relaxing. Was there another place you were thinking of?
Great Wall of China.
Okay, close enough. I'll take Big Sur. Turn around. Maybe you're just drinking Fiji water. I'll take it. I'll take it. Did Fiji pop in your head?
Fiji came at one point, I will say. Fiji did come at one point.
This guy's like, I'm going on an all-expense vacation. I'm doing a world tour here. I say think of one place. That's fine. That's fine. Have a seat for me.
You got it.
You know what? Hear me out. Hear me out. What happens if somebody lies in my show? Right? What happens if somebody lies in my show? And this room never lies, so there's no chance. Watch this. I need to put some skin in the game. Right now, if I lose, what happens? Nothing. I already got paid for the show. Let's come out in this crowd. Raise your hand if you have any cash on you. If you have any money on you, raise your hand. What is this? All the cabinets broke? What's going on? Where's that super PAC money? Follow me. I'm going, you know what? I see the name tag. I don't have to read minds. Acting Attorney General. Let's go over to this gentleman. Introduce yourself, please.
Pardon me?
Tell us your first name.
You don't know my name?
I know it, but it seems fake if I know, Todd. I can say it. Stand up. Give him a hand, everybody, for helping me out. Todd, just tap on the mic. Let's make sure it works. Are you a money clip or a wallet kind of guy? Don't take it out.
No. Neither. It's like it's more like a wallet.
Okay, it was a multiple choice. That's okay. Do you know, and I always ask this question because you never know. You're going out. Cash isn't as common now. Do you know exactly how much is in there or you're not sure?
I'm not sure.
I like that, right? Hashtag baller.
No.
I want you to count it, but hold on. Do it under the table so there's no way I could see. Under the table, and move away with the microphone. I picked the right guy. stand up, lie to me. Don't tell me how much money you really have. Make up a lie. Make up a lie. Lie to me. How much you got?
130.
I would have said if you're going to dream big, Todd.
That was dreaming big.
Folks, I notice patterns. And I can't explain why, and this is not a stereotype, but when I do this with men versus women, they lie differently, and I don't know why that is. It's not a gender stereotype, but for some odd reason, statistical analysis, women will prefer to use a number smaller than the amount they actually have on them. I don't know why. Men like to lie by saying things are bigger. No examples. You didn't laugh at that joke, Todd. Joke was hilarious. Bingo! My acting attorney general just lied too big. Here's the question to ask yourself. Cover your eyes. How could I know something he didn't even know? I'm going to show you over here. I'm going to show the president. President's still admiring the Czech crystal, I'm noticing. Those are beautiful chandeliers, sir. Open your eyes. How much you got, Todd?
$85.
$85, everybody! IRS conducting a forensic audit as we speak on you, sir. Do you know the gentleman standing in front of you, sitting in front of you?
I met him tonight.
Okay. You seemed happier than he did. That was a weird response. Tell us your name.
My name's Tom.
Tom, hold out your hands flat if you don't mind, like a pancake. Take any one of those bills out for me, Todd. And I want to create a moment in this room for Todd and Tom that you will never forget. Flip the bill over for me, and I want you to remember this White House Correspondents' dinner.
I will.
Todd is like, I should have brought more cash. Turn to face him, please. And what I'd like you to do here is you're going to be his table. Well, you could sit if you want, but that's okay.
Attorney General, so I
Okay.
should probably stand up.
I want you to take, and I want you to sign it. Go ahead. And then hold it up so everyone can see the federal offense you have just committed. He just clearly lost the Senate confirmation hearings on camera. I'm teasing you, Todd. Todd, did you sign that bill?
I did.
I don't know why you're smiling over here, Tom. You're an accessory to the crime, sir.
Okay.
This is the acting attorney general. I want you to take that bad boy, fold it in half, please. Fold it again, and I want you to recount the moments that just happened under oath in court. Did you touch that bill, Todd?
Yes.
Did Tom touch the bill?
Yes.
Did anyone else ever touch that bill, sir?
I'm sure someone else did, but not tonight.
Okay, well, statute of limitations. I want to make sure nobody ever wants to touch it in the future. Fold it in half. Fold it again. Sit on it.
Sit on it.
He just confirmed with his wife, and he didn't even go right or left cheek. He went dead center. That's a man who takes no chances. I'm going to ask every one of you in this room a question. Here's what I'd like you all to do right now for me. Journalists, accomplished people who like to get to the bottom of things. I want everyone to take a deep breath in, and I want everyone to give me a nice strong exhale out. And I want you to close your eyes and visualize that sitting across from you. I have this question I'd love to ask you. I say, if you could interview, in this room I call it interview, sometimes I say have dinner, break bread, ask questions. If you could interview somebody famous, but let's make it hypothetical, dead or alive, past or present, anyone that's ever lived, it's a fascinating question. And I want you to visualize, that's the key, is not just see it in your mind, but see that person sitting across from you. Open your eyes, nod your heads if you've already done it. Nod your head. Some of you are quick on the draw. Some of you are still relatively sober, given the fact it's, I think, 3 a.m. at this moment. I lost track of time. If you haven't yet done it, crunch time, everybody. 3, 2, 1, done. Wake up. Everyone, give me a big clap over your head if you can see your person clear as day. Give me a big clap. All right, follow me with the mics. We're going to go rapid fire here. Follow me with the mics. Follow me, follow me. Come on over. Give me another clap. I like the fact that this gentleman right over here, can we see him? We're going to point over. Looked at me, distinctly looked at me, clapped, nodded, then shook his head. I don't even know what that means.
I saw you coming.
You saw me coming?
Yes, I did.
And you're like, what do I do? How do I avoid him even though I'm sitting in the front row?
Push my wife in front of.
Push your wife. I love chivalry is not dead. Yes. What's your name?
I'm Ed.
Ed?
Yes.
Parents nailed it. You look like an Ed. I think that's perfect. Have we ever spoken a word in our life ever?
We have not.
Stand up for me, Ed. Now, if I go head to head, toe to toe with Ed, I don't think it's good enough. It's not good enough. The more people I can do this with, the more impossible it becomes. Give me some more claps. Follow me with the mic. Follow me with the camera. Follow me with the camera. Oh, follow me. George, come on over. This was an incredible smile. Arms extended. She threw in a belly dance. I reward extra credit. No, Ed, stand up. We didn't get rid of you. I love you, Ed. Let's go right over here. Tell us your first name.
Michelle.
Stand up. 2 L's?
2 L's.
I'm a mind reader. Come on, Michelle. Come on. Another clap. I look around. This was a moment. We had a moment right over here. If you go to this young lady, she looked at me, and when we made eye contact, Ed, she did not nod, she did not shake her head, but rather when we made eye contact, she closed her eyes tightly as if to activate some sort of camouflage shield, saying to herself, if I don't see him, does he still see me? I see you. Tell us your name.
Aaron.
Stand up for me, please.
Okay.
I now have 1, 2, 3 people thinking of 3 different people they want to have dinner with. This side's feeling no love. I can see it in your eyes. You're feeling no love, so let's keep it going. 2 more people, rapid fire. Follow me with the mics. Follow me. Give me some claps. Your joy is effervescent. Also, the pocket square, 4 ripples. Next level, my friend. Next level. What is your name?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin?
Yes.
Stand up for me, Kevin. I never go past 4. Give him a round of applause. Make some noise. But this is not just any event. This is the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's been going on over 100 years. I'm the first mentalist. One more group, right over here. I didn't even tell you I would do this. Give me a clap. Let me see it. Who thinks they have someone I will not get? You will be my Fiji water. Who will that be? Give me a clap. Okay, all of you with the big clap, you're too confident. I don't like it. I like the people that are on the fence. I like this young lady right over here. This young lady looked over. She squinted at me. She didn't clap. She just gave me an I'm looking at you, buddy. Tell us your first name.
My name is Alex.
Alex, give Alex a hand too as well. Alex, Kevin, Ed, Aaron, Michelle with 2 L's. Each of you, I asked to think of somebody famous sitting across from you, and you are at the edge of your seat, scintillating, asking them questions. Sit down if it's Jack Kerouac.
No.
Folks, don't hold the applause in. Let it out.
That's so obscure. Like, you should not have gotten.
Never bring a knife to a gunfight. Joke is too soon. Have a seat for me, please.
That's it. That is 100% it.
I know. I can read your mind.
You know,
That's what
you
I
know that. Yeah,
you don't have to keep
everyone
telling
else,
me.
that was it.
Have a seat. Thank you. I like how Erin just rethought her choice. She's like, mine's too easy. Mine's too easy.
There's no way you would know.
Kevin, you are a ball of positive energy. Just looking at you has uplifted my mood without caffeine. I can tell you for a 100% fact, I'm not even gonna hedge. Not 99, not 100%. Live TV, your person is alive and well, am I correct?
You are correct.
How did I know that? Your vitality, your energy. Versus if we could point the camera at Ed, Gerard, Ed is over here, that's that guy. Ed has dead guy vibes written all over him.
Come on, man. I'm feeling pretty.
Is it a dead guy, Ed?
Vital.
Is it a dead guy?
It is a.
Yeah, classic Ed.
That's hilarious. Yes.
Yeah.
Dead guy.
Why are you on the fence?
No, he's definitely a dead guy.
You weren't sure if he was dead or alive?
No, I'm saying I'm vital. I'm just saying he's dead.
Oh yeah, it's nothing about you. You're gonna live to 120, baby. I'm talking about the person you're thinking of.
Yeah.
You know what? Arms behind the back, this guy's very proper. He's done a lot of World War II biographies. Sit down if it's Winston Churchill.
You're right.
Yeah. Folks, I'm getting 6% applause on things that deserve 120. Have a seat for me, Ed. Have a seat, Ed, have a seat. Bless you. I knew you'd sneeze right then. Aaron, playful hair adjustment, always a guy. It's always a guy. The hair adjustment twice, it's a guy. Am I right?
It's a man.
I could tell.
It wasn't playful hair, but it was just an adjustment.
Okay, there's no implications here. I like how Tom just told Todd, he's like, why didn't you bring more money, bro? Why didn't you bring more money? I did this last week. I filmed my Netflix special. And I did this, and the last person standing thought of a movie star. And when I got it right, he did not sit down. And the tension grew in the room, and I said, sir, did I get it? He goes, yeah. And I go, okay. And he goes, oh yeah? What movie am I thinking of? I'm like, buddy, there's no on-demand feature. It's always, I wonder what movie she's thinking of his, but I'm gonna go with it. Do you know what question you're gonna ask him right off the jump, or is it more just a flowing conversation? What's
flowing, just flowing.
Flowing, I love that, I love that. And you were debating, and I was thinking like, I think he's passed away, am I correct?
Correct.
It seems somber.
Yeah,
But
not somber, but passed away.
Okay. I don't know which movie. Tell us all, who are you sitting down to dinner with? Who's across from you during this scintillating interview?
Jerry Garcia. Are you wrong?
Don't ever doubt me again. Don't you ever doubt.
You scared me. How did you know? Oh my God. All right, Austin.
Guy next to her dropped an F-bomb. We're
That's
not on
my
a hot
husband.
mic. We're okay. We are okay. Michelle with 2 L's. Kevin with the tremendous smile. We have an issue right now. We have a problem. You don't realize it. But the issue is that so far tonight, I'm on fire. No, don't you smile, Kevin. It's a bad thing. I set the bar too high too soon, which means that right now, I can no longer guess who you're each thinking of. Because you will say to me later, what'd you think of that guy O's? And you're like, he's pretty good, but then he did it 4 or 5 times, he plateaued. Kevin, I don't plateau. I peak. So I'm gonna hand each of you, we're gonna hand you each a poster board and a marker. If we can grab, come on, I need you. We're gonna hand you each one. Don't open the markers yet. The markers, just because people try to unscrew them, they just pop. Don't do that, Kevin, don't do that. Hand each person one, and each of you, very important, don't open the marker, hold them close to you, hold them sideways. Landscape is good.
Okay. Landscape.
Little twist there, Kev. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Freeze. I'm not gonna guess who you're each thinking of. I'm gonna do something exponentially crazier. You're gonna talk about this for years. This Frisbee I purchased for 82 cents. Amazon Prime, free same-day shipping. This Frisbee has a 1.5-star review. This is literally the worst Frisbee in the world. I could have my friend Tom Brady right here trying to throw it to you. It would not land. It does not fly true. Let's see, who could we get? The president?
Yes.
No.
Will you just throw it for us? Is that okay? I don't know if I can aim it. Secret Service, is this okay? They just went code red, mentalist, no. Is that, I can't throw this, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. I don't know if I can aim this thing, President. There, okay. You know what? I have a better idea. Throw the hat out in the crowd. Let's go. Someone catch, or nobody catch.
Glassware down.
This guy just became his VP running mate in 2028.
Oh.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Are you okay? If you'd like, this is entirely your choice. You can help me, but the Frisbee goes further than the hat. So it adds elements of excitement and randomness versus the hat had about 3 people to land because it appears I've made half the room disappear. Would you like to keep it or would you like to throw it onwards and make this even more random?
Actually, I would love to keep it.
Would you like to join me on stage and be my mind-reading protege?
Oh, why not?
Give her a round of applause, everybody. I'm going to stand you right here. We're going to bring you a microphone. Tell us all your name.
My name is Diane Williams.
Diane Williams, have you and I ever spoken a word in our life?
No, never.
Diane Williams, go ahead and read their minds. How crazy would that have been? Are you kidding me right now? Diane Williams, we need to get into the zone, okay? No. Not really yoga style. I want you to give me your best mind reading pose. Bring the hands up here. That's pretty good. That's more, okay, that's more, it's sunny out. Let's hit them. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Diane Williams, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to assist you. Look at me. I'm going to have you picture a crystal ball in my hands. There is not really a crystal ball. You are going to look down into my hands, and I want you to look through that crystal ball down into my hands, and I want you to nod your head if you are seeing clear as day. 2 people or pretending. Can you see them? Is that a yes? You're really playing this up. And keep your eyes closed.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to repeat over and over in your head who you just saw, over and over in your head. Do you see 2 people? Could you see those 2 people? Close your eyes, Diane Williams. Close your eyes. Kevin, Michelle, uncap your marker. Keep your eyes closed, Diane Williams. I want you to write down your person's first and last name or their name as big as you can. As big as you can, please. Maximize the space on there. The person you picked, write their name as big as you can. Are you done, Michelle?
Yes.
Take your time, Kevin. I'm getting bored of my own show. Kevin, you're done.
Done.
Man, wake up. Come back to the light. Now, I'm going to give you one clue, which is that we were able to ascertain that his person is alive. We said that earlier.
Okay.
So I want you not just to look into that beautiful smile, but look into his eyes. See the reflection across from him and tell him who is the person he is sitting down to dinner with. The person is alive. Who is it?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Stop.
Folks, are you alive in this room right now?
Crazy.
That was a 3 out of 10 on something that should have been a 12 out of 10. So no, I'm not looking for pity. If lightning strikes twice here at the Waldorf Astoria and Diane Williams nails this, there better not be one butt still in a seat unless you are mobility impaired, in which case I want to see a miracle. So you don't look into Michelle's eyes, you look into her soul and you tell this woman, okay.
Okay.
What's that?
I just saw one name.
Okay, well that's his name.
Okay.
What would we do? What if we put on your mind reading face?
Okay.
Diane Williams, get back in the zone. Look at me, stare me in the eyes. Well, her eye contact is very intense, folks. I hold this crystal ball up. We look through it. We see this beautiful check glass. Down, we look down. We look down and we look down and we see a face. And we say to ourselves, who do we see? You're pretending even though God knows this is not going to work, so I'm hoping for the best.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to work, but who knows? Are you staring at Michelle? Are you looking into her eyes? Look deeper, look into her soul, and give it your best shot. Diane Williams, who is she having dinner with?
Could it be JFK?
Turn it around, turn it around, turn it around. Have a seat. Folks, I'm bringing Diane on the road with me for the record. She's keeping the hat. Really quick, let's see at this juncture in the evening if anybody still has battery life. Grab out your phone. Go to your calculator. I just watched this man clear as day clear his browser history. Please go to your calculator If there's a number, I don't want it. Get rid of it. Clear that number out. And I want to see nice, beautiful zeros out there. Do we have zeros? Hold them up, hold them up, hold them up. Let me see what we got. Okay. I need to see energy. I feed off of it. Who wants in? Who wants in right now? Who wants in? Who seems excited? One guy just looked at me and started flexing. I don't know why. Okay, battery life, still in the green. You're doing pretty well there, sir. What is your name?
Josh.
Josh? Traditional spelling? Do you want to join me? Let's get him up here. Let's hear it for Josh, everybody. Josh, come on up. Come on up, partner. Let's bring you up. Josh, here's what I want you to do. I need to get somebody else in the mix. I want you to do two things. We're going to fact check this. You're going to type in this in. One more partner in crime. Pick somebody out there for me to help me out. Who's it going to be? Dina. At your own table. Okay, so I like the nepotism here. He's like, let's just stick with my own table. Dina, do you have your phone as well?
I do, yeah.
Stand up. Dina has no cover, just living dangerous over there. This trick is about to be called Apple Care. Dina, should we swap? Josh, come with me. Dina, I'm gonna bring you in as well. Dina, since I didn't get to throw a Frisbee, are you your calculator open?
Yes.
Please open it up. What do we have? Is this an amortization calculator? She's doing my mortgage calculations is what I'm seeing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't know what this one is. I can't do, this is like the buttons are too small. I can't see anything. I'm so sorry. I gotta use someone else because I can't see. Put the brightness up. Grab yours. This one's big even though you're at 7% battery. I love it. Dina, give us a number and we're gonna go on stage. Come with me, Josh. Give us a number and I want you to do this. I want you to give us a birthday. Come with me. You know what? Join me. Join me. We'll bring you up. Josh, you're gonna be on deck. Josh, sit down. This gentleman, come with me.
Oh, wait.
I need you. Yeah. How are you? He keeps getting texts from his table saying he's gonna get you good. Who is writing that? I'm gonna bring you a microphone. I'd like you to stand here. Dina and Josh, you each get to help me. Dina, tell me the birthday of somebody you care about deeply. So take a moment with it. Tell us the birthday of someone you care about deeply. Go ahead.
August 17th.
Pause. Whose birthday is that?
My husband.
Everyone go, oh, good choice. I don't want to touch anything. Put in 817, please. 8, slow. 817. Freeze right there. Okay, have a seat. Thank you, Dina. In honor of Dina picking her spouse, which is a common choice, raise your hand if you are married as well. Okay, most of the room. I need to know why that woman just did this. Did anyone see that? That was a very strange reaction to a relatively binary question. That was a real-time Facebook status. It's complicated. Dina loved that joke. Let's go over to someone new that has not helped me yet. How about right over here? I'm gonna go to the gentleman right next to Steve, who I loved earlier, who thought of Bora Bora. That was too obvious, Steve. Make it tough next time. Let's go to that gentleman in the green, who felt so slighted. What is your name?
Arden.
Arden?
Arden.
That's correct. Arden, quick, what's your wedding anniversary?
May 26th.
What was it?
May 26th.
Do times 526, but don't do equal yet. I'm doing the math. August 17th times May 26th. Kidding, I don't know. Michelle thought I could do anything after John Fitzgerald Kennedy. You get to instill a little bit of yourself in this. Do you have a lucky number or something special to you? I do. You do? 1 digit or 2 digits? One digit? Bring it close to the heart.
Oh, this one?
That's your heart, yeah. We're not there yet. And I want you to hit plus and hold it close to you and put in your lucky number. And then walk out into this crowd to somebody that you do not know. Is that possible? You seem a social butterfly. And I want to lock eyes. Look at me, sir. Look at me, sir. 500 times 1,000 is 500 G's. I'm a capitalist. I want 2 commas. I want a 3rd comma. I want millions. What's your name?
Colin. It's Colin.
Colin? 1 L or 2?
1.
All right, Michelle's not happy. Some of you, your memory is not as good. You don't know why that callback was funny. That's okay. Colin, three-digit number between 100 and 500. Don't do 1, 2, 3. You're better than that, Colin. You're better than that. You got a number?
Yes, sir.
I didn't like it. Change.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. Whisper with no microphone into his ear your three-digit number. Everybody make ambient ocean noises. Whoa. Did you hear what he said? We're gonna get the microphone right there, right there. Have a seat for me, Colin. Please type in, to this gentleman, please type in a times and put in Colin's 3 digits. You did. Colin, have a seat. Wonderful. Did you hit equals?
Not yet.
Please.
All right.
Gotta be over 30 mil. It's gotta be over 30 million. Is it over 30 million?
It is.
Okay, I thought that was lightly impressive, but no, it's okay. I don't need the pity applause. Thank you though, Bobby. Thank you. I'm ready. I'm ready for you. Oh yeah, I'm not Rain Man. What do we get? That's what calculate, yeah.
Read the number.
Yeah.
All right. 53 million.
Hold up, 53 million.
670,000.
600, oh, I didn't leave enough room. Okay, I'm gonna wrap around. 53,670,000.
682.
$682. Bam. Have a seat. Give him a big round of applause. All my helpers. Dina, Josh, way to fact check. I appreciate you. Did you hear me say dollars? Yes. Imagine that you go to your ATM, that you swipe your card, that you type in your PIN code, or if I'm there, I do it for you. And suddenly, in your checking account balance, $53,670,682. How would you react? Let me see some faces. Okay, I like how some of you didn't hear the key word, checking account. This is not an interest-bearing account. I like how one guy swore under his breath, like tariffs. Folks, you should deploy this capital. Like my man right over here, Todd Blanche, looked at me like that was low. Tom, what did he sign, Tom? Was it a 20, a 50, or 100? We couldn't see. Tom is the guy next to him. What was it?
A 20.
It was a 20? Todd, are you still sitting on it?
Yes.
Todd, reach into the abyss. Stand up for me, please, sir. Todd, check the signature. Is this your bill that you took out of your pseudo money clip?
Yes.
You marked it, but so did the government of the greatest country on earth with an 8-digit serial number. Read us those digits one at a time, please. Switch to me, please. Switch to me, please. Switch to me, 1 digit at a time, please.
53670682.
Truly, this has been the honor of a lifetime. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, you've just been watching O's the Mentalist at the White House. He does it again at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I should say. President Trump speaking for more than an hour before ceding the floor to O's the Mentalist. Stay with us with ABC News Live Prime.
Scaring all of us in this room. And thank you all for supporting the White House Correspondents Association and the First Amendment. Thank you.
Thank you all. This concludes the 2026 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Again, our thanks to President Trump. We look forward to seeing you all.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Andrew Dimbert for ABC News Live Prime. Thanks so much for streaming with us. President Trump just spoke at the rescheduled White House Correspondents' dinner tonight, 3 months after a gunman breached security. The original dinner thrown into chaos when suspect Cole Allen breached security and opened fire inside the Washington Hilton Hotel. Tonight, the event got a redo on a smaller scale and at a different venue, the Waldorf Astoria, which is the former Trump Hotel in Washington. The president joking with the press, claiming he will run for a fourth term and even donning a Trump 2028 hat. Before that, the president noting his often adversarial relationship with the press.
But I am delighted to be here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Amazing people, a lot of people that I like. Some I don't like at all. But I respect most of them. I must say that you do a great job, amazing job, and it's an honor. As I said 3 months ago, the show must go on.
Still, the president did say he appreciated a free press before going back to mocking certain journalists he felt have not covered him fairly. The address was scheduled for 30 minutes but lasted more than an hour. Joining us now is former assistant to President Trump, Sonny Nelson. Sonny, we just heard the president speak at the rescheduled White House Correspondents' Dinner after a shooting disrupted the event back in April. We were told that the president would deliver a, quote, unifying yet vicious speech tonight. Do you think he did that?
Well, like we said before the president spoke, that was going to be a tricky needle to thread. And I think he did about as good a job of that as you can do. Of course, he started off this speech with a lot of humor, but he also touched on the importance of continuing this historic event that happens in Washington, D.C. to really honor the First Amendment and to talk about how important the press corps is, because of course they are so truly important in making sure that the president's message and the president's actions get out to the American people unfiltered. So the president has, very high respect for the press, and he knows the value of the press. Of course, we saw at times fiery in all different directions, whether it be his own party, of course, taking jabs at Secretary Kennedy, which I thought was probably the funniest part, in my opinion, and then taking jabs at his political opponents. And that's, that's one of the beauties of our country. And that's what the beauty of the First Amendment is. We can take shots at each other on policy, on ideology, but where we draw the line is at political violence. And that is the point that I think he really drove home tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of political violence, Trump addressed, of course, the shooting, thanking security, saying that this show must go on. Our own Jonathan Karl said it was important for the president to attend. He looked President Trump right in the eyes when he said that. What's your take here?
Yeah, absolutely. And some great words from John Karl there. Look, the president has shown strength. He's shown strength in the face of really troubling circumstances. We heard some really great speeches tonight, whether it be from Ouija or from the president, making great comments about how we cannot let deranged individuals take control or take a narrative or scare the American people. We have to come together to show unity, to stand up and say, this is the United States of America. We will never allow political violence. It will never be an acceptable form of disagreement in our society. That's why we have the First Amendment, so that we can disagree on politics, we can disagree on policies, but we absolutely will never stand for political violence, and we will never let it control us. That's why the president was so adamant that he come out and speak tonight. And I think he did an excellent job in reminding the American people as to what we stand for and what we will never allow.
At least some elements of the White House Correspondents' Dinner are meant to be lighthearted. The president did crack a few jokes. Did he say anything that made you laugh?
Yes, his joke that he had with Bobby Kennedy, I think, was my favorite one. I myself am a Maha mom. I'm super into the Maha movement. So, there's a lot of jokes about Bobby Kennedy online with his health regimen, with the things that he eats. So his joke about Bobby running over the beef before they served it was pretty funny. They had some good stuff in there.
All right, Sonny Nelson, thank you. Let's bring in former Senator and ABC News contributor Heidi Heitkamp. Heidi, the president's speech started off seemingly lighthearted, but then quickly turned into a rehashing of old issues, even some feedback on the night's awards, not to mention joking that he'd run for president in 2028. In totality, it was about an hour of a speech. How did tonight feel to you?
I think I wrote the right prediction. I could have been a mentalist tonight when I said it's going to be a list of grievances. It's going to be his greatest hits. It's going to be stuff that you have heard before. And, this is a stage. The president had an opportunity to really show a different side of himself and kind of hit the reset button with a lot of people. He's got horrible poll numbers. He did not do that. And I know you asked your previous guest whether he chuckled out loud. And my favorite part was the part where he tells a joke, which I still don't get, about upstairs and having relations with a wife or something. And then he says, "Does anyone understand this stuff?" And I thought, truer words have never been spoken. And I think at the end of this speech, he kind of realized that you can't be looking out at a crowd of people looking at their cell phones, not really reacting to what you're saying. But yet he understands that the cameras are on, and this is his chance to rehash all the old grievances, tell all the old so-called jokes. And, it will be memorable because he showed up. So let's just say that if the bar was showing up, the president did that tonight. If the idea was to hit a reset button and show people a different side of himself, that did not happen tonight.
Well, after the way the last Correspondents' dinner ended, do you think the president set the right tone tonight?
No, I mean, I think that there was a real opportunity to basically talk about, when he talks about political violence and then goes ahead and uses all of the language and, kind of pretends that he's talking to someone about someone being a fat pig. And, that is not, he's never been presidential. And that's part of his attractiveness, I think, for people who live in places like I live. He's not politically correct. He doesn't pretend to be politically correct. But occasionally you could rise to the occasion and, say something nice. I think he was set off a little bit by Caitlin Collins getting an award. And then there was the award for the photojournalist that made him look a little schlumpy, kind of standing there in the middle while somebody had collapsed in the background. I think when he said, this night's been worse than I thought, I think he meant that. I think that was the truest statement that he gave, because he had to sit through all of those awards, many of which he didn't agree with, and then, stand up and give a speech. So I give him kudos for showing up, but this was not any major effort on his part to lighten the mood or in any way kind of turn the page. And when he said, I really like the media, as he follows up with the statement that, I'm totally ignoring you. I'm going to TikTok because you're not somebody that can help me.
Yeah, Ron was mentioned tonight as well. The president saying that things are going well and still teasing a potential deal. What did you make of that part?
Well, I think, I think that he is working to try and get that deal. I think he might not have the right team on the ground to make that deal happen. I was in the Senate when the JCPOA was basically negotiated, and we voted on it. That's very complicated, especially when you're trying to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. And now we're seeing the effort expand into the Red Sea. We're seeing, when you look at the trifecta for oil prices, you've got the Strait, you've got now the Saudis engaged in warfare, and you have Ukraine taking out the capability of Russia. And so there's going to be a lot of pressure on gas prices. Most people didn't support this war, and certainly if they think that they're paying for it in their pocketbook, this is going to get even more difficult for the midterms. But nobody should disagree that we need to stop Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon. And so I hope they're successful in doing that.
Heidi Heidkamp, thank you.
You bet.
Wildfires spreading out of control in Europe. Tonight, nearly 200,000 people have been forced to evacuate their homes in southern France and central Spain. The wildfires hit during back-to-back heat waves, further straining emergency services. Here's ABC's Marcus Moore with the devastating images coming in.
Tonight, nearly 200,000 people evacuating parts of France and Spain, fleeing out-of-control wildfires consuming dozens of square miles. Huge plumes of smoke darkening the sky over southwest France's beaches, popular with American tourists. Whipping winds and a historic heat wave in part fueling the flames. Homes in this neighborhood burned to the ground. One resident saying he, his wife, and son battled the flames throughout the night, able to protect 4 houses. Across the border in central Spain, authorities